Good morning. It is Monday, November the 8th. I'm Shane Seeley, and this is the CBC Morning Report. Leading our news this morning, CARFA, the Caribbean Public Health Agency, is heightening its surveillance in the coming days to track new and emerging variants of COVID-19 coming into Barbados and the region. Executive Director Dr. Joy St. John confirms work in this regard will commence on November the 15th. While Delta Plus has not been detected here, Dr. St. John is worried about the possible impact of a new wave that this variant can spread through the Caribbean, especially with the influx of visitors expected for the winter tourist season.
We haven't detected Delta Plus yet. It's going to be important that we keep getting the samples, but we haven't detected Delta Plus. We've seen some move, not in Barbados. We've seen some move, and I mention that because studies of move have shown that there has been some escape from the vaccines. We really don't right now. So we're watching that very closely in the jurisdictions in which we have detected mu. But I repeat, mu is not in Barbados, at least not in the samples that we have been sent.
Meanwhile, CARFA is awaiting approval from the World Health Organization for a new drug to treat COVID-19. The drug could be in tablet form. Dr. St. John gave an update on last night's edition of The People's Business, which focused on COVID-19, isolation, vaccination, and misinformation.
The treatment that we are looking at right now has not got WHO approval yet. It has been approved for the first in the UK. So what we're doing is we're looking at the updates to WHO's lists of medications, and we're also going to make contact with the manufacturer once it has been approved, and then recommend to the member states for their utilization. We've been looking a long time for a treatment that works, as well as a vaccine, especially now that we're realizing there is this unrelenting vaccine hesitancy.
Also on that program, it was revealed that COVID-19 stigmatization is real in Barbados, so much so that in some instances, people are being evicted from their homes by family members. Confirmation of this from the consultant manager with the home isolation program, Dr. Adana Grandison, who shed some light on the issue last night on The People's Business.
What we are now seeing, unfortunately, are some family members who are simply stating, I don't want this person in my home. Unfortunately, we have also seen situations where there are family members who have kicked people out of the home. And you know, these are some of the challenges that we have as it relates to stigmatization.
Dr. Grandison also revealed very alarming trends with people in home isolation. 375 COVID-19 positive individuals have refused transportation to receive further treatment for their condition.
And why is it concerning? Because we know that these persons, especially for medical reasons, require not only to be assessed, but also require the medical intervention to help them based upon the symptoms that they would have displayed. And so it is a plea I am asking all Barbadians, because once you're assessed and you are given, according to our traffic light system, a designation within that traffic light system, it does not always mean you will stay at that designated color code for the entire duration of your illness. So my plea really is that if for whatever reason a medical assessor has assessed you, or you are demonstrating symptoms in keeping with a need for escalation of care, that these persons would accept the transport and certainly accept the care.
Dr. Dana Grandison, the consultant manager with the home isolation program, speaking to me last night there on the People's Business. We'll take a break here, but when we come back, in our COVID-19 updates, Barbadians getting their first experience with safe zones from today. You'll hear what you can expect in a moment. Starting today, Barbadians will be getting their first experience with COVID-19 safe zones. The zones, first announced by Prime Minister Mia Motley last month, will seek to establish spaces at select public and some private buildings as well, where those working will either have to be vaccinated or take weekly COVID-19 tests. We hear more from Ryan Broom.
The new directive has been made under the Emergency Management COVID-19 Safe Zones Directive 2021. Now, anyone in breach of the rules governing the zones is liable on summary conviction to a fine of $50,000 or to imprisonment for a term of 1 year or to both. The directive includes the following play service institutions, which include nursing homes, private hospitals, and senior citizens' homes and maternity homes. Dental offices are also included in the directive, along with offices of medical practitioners and offices of paramedical professionals. It also includes all COVID-19 testing sites, quarantine and isolation facilities designated by the Chief Medical Officer, and all other non-governmental organizations that provide health care services. Now, the directive requires that an employee who is fully vaccinated shall produce a copy of his vaccination card or vaccination certificate to the person in charge of that institution, and that person shall keep a copy of the card or certificate, which shall be retained among the records of that institution. Now, the provisions state that a person is considered fully vaccinated if they have completed a full regimen of vaccines of any of the Ministry of Health and Wellness approved COVID-19 vaccinations at least 14 days or more prior to seeking to enter or remain within the precincts of one of the institutions. Additionally, employees who are fully vaccinated have to be tested for COVID-19 at least once every 42 days, while unvaccinated employees have to be tested for COVID-19 at least once every 7 days. Now, the only exceptions are for employees who have tested positive for COVID-19. They are exempt from the requirements for at least 90 days after discharge from isolation. Meanwhile, employees who produce either a false COVID-19 test or vaccination certificate will be liable on summary conviction to a fine of $50,000 or to imprisonment for a term of 1 year or to both.
Our Ryan Broom reporting there. The public, meanwhile, will soon be able to access COVID testing in the city of Bridgetown. Health officials were busy yesterday setting up a new testing site in Queen's Park. When a CBC team visited the area, workers were seen organizing seating and making final preparations ahead of today's 9 a.m. start. Responded to the call to get their COVID-19 vaccines. This has been evident as the National Vaccination Drive's mobile unit continues to sweep the nation. Yesterday, the unit targeted the Dover area in Christchurch. Our Leah Briggs was there and followed this report.
Barbadians are taking advantage of the mobile unit's pop-up vaccination drives. The unit stationed in the community of Dover Christchurch this time around vaccinated scores of Barbadians who braved the Sunday heat to take the jab. Member of Parliament for Christchurch South Ralph Thorne sees widespread vaccinations as critical in protecting Barbadians, communities and livelihoods. Describing the devastating impact the COVID-19 pandemic had on the Christchurch South constituency, he says it has completely disrupted the lives of both young and old.
Our social life generally has suffered, and I cannot imagine that our country can endure this for much longer. And if this vaccination exercise is a way to resolve the problems that confront this country at this present time, it is a project that is well undertaken this morning.
Doctor on duty Adrian Lord says the mobile vaccination unit has been successful in reaching the masses. He is happy with the turnout and for the opportunity to serve the community that raised him.
I think it's an excellent effort. Of course, we have a limited number of persons to do this, and it's very difficult and obviously expensive process to have them out there, but going to the communities is the best thing. And I am a Dover boy. I was born up here, well, not born up here, raised up here, played on this field. So I'm happy to return to Dover to help my Dover community.
MP Thorne also commented on Barbados' rising COVID-19 death toll. He says it's concerning and encourages all eligible persons to take personal responsibility by being vaccinated.
I think people are concerned about the recent deaths, and therefore the exercise has stepped up. People are now losing friends, people are now losing relatives, and this is the only defense. Whatever one thinks, this is now seen as the only defense against the loss of life in Barbados. And I'm pleased that people are reacting, and that they're not only reacting, but that they're acting to get themselves vaccinated.
Aaliyah Briggs, CBC News.
Barbados has recorded 8 more deaths related to COVID-19, bringing the number of lives lost to 180. The 8 included 2 females ages 76 and 89 who were partially vaccinated and unvaccinated respectively. Both died at the Blackman and Gollop Isolation Facility. Among the 6 males who died were 2 at the age of 62, another at the age of 91, while others were ages 54 and 67. 1 male was fully vaccinated, another partially vaccinated. The other 4 were unvaccinated. There were also 238 new COVID-19 positive cases reported by the Best Dos Santos Public Health Laboratory. This after it conducted 1,503 tests on November the 6th. These cases included 111 females and 127 males. The new positives comprised 45 individuals who were under the age of 18. There are now 928 people in isolation facilities across Barbados and 6,513. Actually, it's 6,600 plus now in home isolation. Let's go over to Pearson now to hear how he's starting the week with you on Morning Barbados. Pearson, it's over to you.
Good morning, Shane. Good morning, everyone. When you join me here at 6:30 for Morning Barbados, we'll have our usual conversations on CARICOM. This time we're doing a review of COP26. What are some of the positive outcomes from that global conference on which the whole world was focused? We'll also be celebrating World YMCA Week. The Barbados leg will be doing a number of activities this week, one of which will be the big reveal of the mural. So we'll hear from Shay Greenwich a little bit more about how they're marking this significant milestone. Plus, today we meet a young woman who has written about a journey to 30. This time she's moved to the next level. She's having her virtual summit. She's asking all of us to recognize it's time to elevate. What does that mean? She'll tell us just a little bit, because there's much more coming up on Morning Barbados when we go live at 6:30. Back to you.
Thank you, Pearson. And we'll take a break here. We have more news coming your way. Barbados is currently looking to expand exports into the United States with a new strategy of targeting the diaspora. Minister in the Ministry of Foreign Trade, Sandra Husband, says to add to the $60 million of value in exports currently being achieved, the ministry will be pushing Barbadian foods and the production of said items.
What we've been able to do quite successfully, and we would like to do more, are exports then into the United States, which we've been able to do via our Sabera program, and we've been able to export about $40 million under that particular program, and then I think it's another $20 million under the wider Caribbean Basin Initiative. Now, one of the things that we need to do to boost trade is to find our diaspora. They're the ones that have long memories about the little house on the Shirley biscuit. They're the ones who know what a good Bajan salt bread means between a piece of, with some cheese in it. And what you want, and this is what the Italians did so well, they introduced pasta and pizza to the United States. Until now, it is a worldwide food. But those were their cultural products that they took with them. And it's the diaspora that will cook it and invite others to take part in it, and then start to build restaurants around it, and then start to build the supermarkets and the products for the supermarkets so that it can then become a universal food. That's where we need to go. That's where I want to see us. But that means engaging our food technologists. That means building your manufacturing capability. That means looking at co-manufacturing, production, maybe in the very market where you want to sell so you can save some money. And it means promoting that product. And so these are some of the things that we have on our work plan in relation to making sure that we can tap the diaspora and see how we can get some cassava pone and some Shirley biscuits and things like that into the United States market.
Speaking on the Public Affairs Department's one-on-one program, which was aired last evening on CBC TV8, Ms. Husbands also revealed plans to export Barbados's rum to new markets. However, there are some challenges that have to be overcome.
We're the home of rum, and our rum story and our rum brand needs to be protected and needs to be advanced. And China would be one of the markets we would want to look at. Africa would be another market we would want to look at to be able to get rum into those homes and for consumption. The issue that we have with rum, however, is getting the molasses to make the rum. And in order for the rules of origin to be met, to say it is a Barbados rum, you have to be careful with the ingredients that you put in and where you bring them from and how much transformation you create with them to be able to still claim this is a Barbados rum. So those are the things that currently occupy the market in relation to rum.
The Ministry of Foreign Trade is also in talks with Guyana, Suriname, and Belize on food production security.
To grow every single thing that you need for your population, and then for a tourism population, which can top close to 1 million persons a year, you need to be able to ensure that you have good food security. So while domestically, you would see that the Ministry of Agriculture has broadened and accelerated production. At the same time, we are engaged in dialogue with Guyana and Suriname and Belize about making sure that they grow sufficient of the essential foods that we need, that should Barbados be knocked out by a hurricane, or Dominica experience that disaster that they had with Irma and Maria, or what happened in Antigua, that we have a quick alternative. And part of that program is not just producing and keeping food on the ready during the hurricane season. It is also about keeping planting material.
Government will be moving to bring reforms to the legislation governing the Barbados Probation Department. Home Affairs Minister Wilfred Abrams gave the assurance during his virtual address at the entity's 75th anniversary church service yesterday. Under COVID-19 protocols, some staff and church members worshipped at the Calvary Moravian Church, thanking God for the occasion.
Having been passed in 1945, one would appreciate that this legislation is somewhat antiquated. As we seek to invest in young Barbadians, this legislation has been receiving our attention and significant reform is under discussion. Priority is also being given to the establishment of a new juvenile justice bill and child protection legislation, which together will significantly reform the child laws in Barbados.
And Minister Abrams says steps are being taken to ensure the department continues to meet the needs of young people.
The department is also reinforcing its efforts to focus not only on monitoring offenders and on public safety, but also on community participation. Therefore, as the department marks this anniversary, we are aware that it is an open door, linking the past to the future, and we are proud of the vital role played by the Barbados Probation Service.
The chairman of the Thorne Commission, Ralph Thorne, is calling for local governance to be written into the Barbados Constitution as government explores constitutional reform. The Thorne Commission, you may remember, was set up to oversee the establishment of community-based people's assemblies in Barbados. Mr. Thorne believes the move will deepen democracy and foster a greater level of participation among Barbadians.
Local government should be written into the Constitution so that when we are discussing constitutional reform in the next few months, hopefully, I want to propose that local government, the institution of local government, should be entrenched into a new constitution so that it is not any temporary expedient, so that people should not feel that, oh, they've set up something and another government comes along and changes it. Let us write it into the Constitution. Let us empower the people at the highest levels of the law.
The Thorne Cabinet will soon make a decision on the findings of the Thorne Commission's report. He believes the establishment of local government will empower Barbadians to be a part of the decision-making process that affects their daily lives.
You're talking about empowering people. You're talking about empowering people within their communities. What greater democratic strength is there than that if people are empowered at the community level to be a part of the decisions that affect their daily lives, so that road repairs, bus service, lighting, recreational facilities, they should be a part of that decision. Those decisions should not be dependent on ministerial actions. Those decisions should not be dependent on governmental actions. They should be dependent on governmental action at the local level.
For the second time in less than a week, staff at the Starcom network and the wider media and entertainment fraternities are coming to terms with the death of another popular radio personality. Warren Fort, who was better known as DJ John Doe on Hot 95.3 FM, died suddenly yesterday afternoon. 46-year-old Fort, who was also a program assistant and supervisor, collapsed suddenly at the River Road studios, and efforts by paramedics and doctors to revive him were unsuccessful. Station manager of Starcom Network, Anthony Green, confirmed to CBC News that Fort had passed away. Green said it was especially tough news following Tuesday's sudden death of veteran broadcaster and producer of the station's brass tacks programs, Dennis Johnson. Regional carrier Liat is said to be planning a return to Guyana. However, the government is seeking to ensure that quality service will be provided for all passengers flying into Guyana. Liat ceased operations to Guyana last year when the COVID-19 pandemic forced the closure of airports in an effort to control the spread of the virus. According to Public Works Minister there, Juan Edgel, the regional airline has applied to return to Guyana. When pressed on the requirements for permission, the Public Works Minister replied that the airline will not receive the necessary aviation approval until the government is assured of the company's steadfastness. Now, over in Jamaica, let's focus on news there. Actually, let's go to what is happening in the world of sports. This morning's final Super 12 match in the ICC T20 World Cup, India versus Namibia, is a dead rubber, as New Zealand's victory over Afghanistan by 8 wickets yesterday secured the last semi-final spot. The Kiwis were exceptional in the field, holding Afghanistan to 124 for 8. Najibullah Zadran hit 73, and Trent Bolt took 3 for 17. In reply, the captain Kane Williamson for the Black Caps steadied the ship and scored 40 not out as his side eased to victory with 11 balls to spare. Here are the highlights.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We have 8 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock. It is YMCA week, and joining us to talk a little bit more about the week and the achievements of the YMCA naturally is the General Secretary in Shay Greenwich. Shay, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson. Always a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Same
Happy
thing here.
YMCA WCA week.
Indeed it is. Congratulations, by the way. And so it's a milestone that you're marking as usual, but there are some activities that you're undertaking this week to mark that milestone. Can you share some of them with us?
Absolutely. I think some of the public may have seen some sneak peeks of things that are happening this week, Pearson. And we are super excited for our grand finale this Saturday. We're going to be at the YMCA, and I would have spoken to you a little bit before about our mural and our Safe Space initiative. Well, guess what? It's time for it to launch, and I am super stoked. We are revealing one of the longest murals in the English-speaking Caribbean and sharing so much more about the project. So we are really happy just tying up all these final ends, and it's going to be something really special.
I think what is also so special about it is your incorporation of all different areas of community to be a part of that building out of the mural. I know you would have spoken and included the differently abled as well, and that's the beauty of the whole thing. It's this Saturday, and what time will be the big reveal?
Our big reveal, we start at 9 a.m. I mean, you can just probably sing and feel how excited I am. But we start at 9 a.m. and we are going to be sharing a bit more about the project, because the mural is just the beginning piece of our Safe Space initiative. There's so much more that's going to be involved. There are a lot of different environmental components, and our project partners, we're working with Live Earth, and they are really good experts on composting and recycling. And these are things that we're trying to bring to the city of Bridgetown. And as you so rightly said, Pearson, this is a community building project. We had members who live in the Greenfield area just behind the YMCA come out to help paint. Kids who just were in their backyards and they saw us painting, and they just came across and they helped us. And we had so many people, every different walk of life in Barbados, come and throw their hands on that wall, myself included, and it provided so much therapy for all of us, even though the sun is hot. I mean, we have a grand time. Our DJ kept us pumped. It was just amazing. It's been really amazing. I'm going to miss it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Saturday at 9 o'clock, we'll keep our eyes out. We can come on down as socially distanced as we can, and we will watch the big reveal, and we'll hear the story behind it as well, which is so important so that we connect right away.
Yeah.
One of the other things that you're doing this week, I see here, is on Thursday, which is something that's really nice, your Youth Ambassador Day. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes, we have started our Youth Ambassador program, and we have a really vibrant, engaging young man. His name is Samuel Boston, and he has a lot of plans. I mean, as a young person myself, I love when I go to people and I have my own ideas, and I go to them and I present them in a very strong way. So to see a younger person than myself coming to me at the YMCA with all these different plans and ideas and ways that he wants to, just bring young men and young women into the YMCA and programs that he has in mind, I was super impressed. Wow. And it takes a lot to impress me, my friends say. So, I mean, I'm really pleased with Samuel. There's going to be a lot in store for him, and being an ambassador of the YMCA, he's going to be getting so many great opportunities, because the YMCA is not only a local chapter here in Barbados. We are celebrating World YMCA YWCA Week across the globe. I'm talking 120 countries, and sometimes person in one country, you're finding 20 different YMCAs. Wow. So he has huge opportunities before him. And I feel really good as a young person to give a fellow young person opportunities like that, because that's what we need. That's what we young people need. We need opportunities for us to show our skills and develop them.
And it also ensures the longevity of the organization as well, because I like the fact that you're changing the face of the YMCA, because oftentimes you thought it was for the older gentlemen of society. But here it is, led by young
Yeah.
women, with young people coming through, and the energy is rebuilding. I think that's so very, very critical. Congratulations on that achievement alone, if nothing else. And then you're also having your golf tournament and the prize giving ceremony. That's
Yeah.
on Wednesday.
Yes, we are definitely ready to give our winners their prizes. I mean, the tournament was great. I have not been a golfer before in my lifetime, but I just started.
And you're
And my
falling in
swing is
love.
not so bad. My first try, I almost made our Pearson, and I feel really proud of that.
Well done, well done.
So, yeah, so we were really happy to be able to pull off this event, especially
Yes.
given the current environment.
Hmm.
But I have really good relations with the COVID monitoring unit. We are always working closely with them, and we were working with Barbados Golf Club as well, and they were very strict, and I like that. So
Yes.
we had a very safe and successful tournament, and I mean the proceeds are going towards a great cause. The YMCA has always had great programs, and coming in as the general secretary, I feel really privileged to be able to sustain those and to also reimagine them in a new
Nice.
way in this new environment. And things have been going really well, Pearson. I'm a very happy camper
I'm
this
so glad to
morning.
hear that.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks so much for having us. And we just also want to say thank you to the team at Mornin Barbados and CBC on the whole. You guys have been amazing partners in this journey with us so far.
It's our society as well. So, for
Yeah.
anyone who wants to follow along all week long, what's happening, where can they go get more information, and where can they go see what's happening?
Follow us on our Instagram page, YMCA Barbados. We are back up and working. And you can also follow us on our Facebook page, that is YMCA Barbados. You'll find us there. So both our handles, YMCA Barbados, we're going to be keeping everyone in the loop. You can also join us every morning if you are an early bird at 5:30 a.m. You can join us on 94.7
That's
FM,
right.
and you can tune into our daily devotions. And we are focusing on the theme, the international theme this week, which is beauty from brokenness. And we started yesterday, Pearson, with a really engaging and encouraging church service. There's just so much renewal and healing that
Yes.
we need as people. I mean, physically as well, because persons are ailing, but also our spirits. We really need that boost and that uplifting. And we got that yesterday at our church service. Thank you so much to Kyle Ward, who led us in that journey yesterday. And we want to be able to share this encouragement and really, offer hope, let people know that there are better days ahead, and we're going to make through this together. We can do this together.
Yes, we can. And we didn't get to it, but certainly today is the Remember When series, where the members and friends of the YMCA will get a chance to share online as well. So go to the socials, YMCA Barbados on Facebook and Instagram, and you can see and share as well. Shay, we got to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us as always. Best of luck going forward. Remain available when you need. Just reach out and we'll see how we can help you as well. All right?
Thank you so much. God bless. Have a great day.
Likewise, you do too. Shay Greenwich, the General Secretary of the YMCA, as they celebrate today, World YWCA Week. We're going to take a break right here, and we're coming back with more on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We are 3 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's take a look at the news. Once again, here's Shane Seeley.
Thank you, Pearson. Here's your 7 a.m. headline news. COVID-19 stigmatization is real, and it's reached a stage here in Barbados where people are now evicting their own family members while under home isolation. The news has been confirmed by manager of the home isolation program here in Barbados, Dr. Dana Grandison. She shed some light on the issue during the People's Business last night, where the focus was COVID-19 isolation, vaccination, and misinformation.
What we are now seeing, unfortunately, are some family members who are simply stating, I don't want this person in my home. Unfortunately, we have also seen situations where there are family members who have kicked people out of the home. And you know, these are some of the challenges that we have as it relates to stigmatization.
Dr. Grandison also revealed another very alarming trend with people in home isolation. Some 375 COVID-19 positive individuals have refused transportation to receive further treatment for their condition.
And why is it concerning? Because we know that these persons, especially for medical reasons, require not only to be assessed, but also require the medical intervention to help them based upon the symptoms that they would have displayed. And so it is a plea I am asking all Barbadians, because once you're assessed and you are given, according to our traffic light system, a designation within that traffic light system, it does not always mean you will stay at that designated color code for the entire duration of your illness. So my plea really is that if for whatever reason a medical assessor has assessed you, or you are demonstrating some keeping with a need for escalation of care, that would accept the transport and certainly accept the care.
Caribbean Public Health Agency is on a mission to avert the potential for major spread of new COVID-19 variants in Barbados and the region. The Executive Director, Dr. Joy St. John, says CARFA is ramping up its surveillance from November 15th. Of concern are the Delta Plus and Mu strains of COVID-19, especially now as the winter tourist season approaches.
We haven't detected Delta Plus yet. It's going to be important that we keep getting the samples. But we haven't detected Delta Plus. We've seen some Mu, not in Barbados. We've seen some Mu, and I mention that because Mu, studies of Mu have shown that there has been some escape from the vaccines. And we really don't need that right now. So we're watching that very closely in the jurisdictions in which we have detected Mu. But I repeat, Mu is not in Barbados, at least not in the samples that we have been sent.
From today, Barbadians will be getting their first experience with COVID-19 safe zones. The zones, first announced by the Prime Minister Mia Motley last month, will seek to establish spaces at select public and some private buildings where those working will either have to be vaccinated or take weekly COVID-19 tests. More from Ryan Broom. Well, as we get that story, that clip for you, Barbados has recorded 8 more deaths related to COVID-19, bringing the number of lives lost to 180. The 8 included 2 females, ages 76 and 89, who were partially vaccinated and unvaccinated respectively. Both died at the Blackman and Gollop Isolation Facility. Among the 6 who died were 2 at the age of 62, another 2 at the age of 91, while the others were 54 and 67. 1 male was fully vaccinated, another partially vaccinated, and the other 4 were unvaccinated. There were also 238 new positive COVID-19 cases reported by the Best dos Santos Public Health Lab. This after conducted just over 1,500 tests on November 6. These cases include 111 females and 127 males. The new positives comprise 45 individuals who are under the age of 18. There are now 928 people in isolation facilities across the island and 6,600 plus people in home isolation. And that's your 7 a.m. headline news. I'm Shane Seeley. It's back over to you, Pearson.
Thank you, Shane. Our time is now 8 minutes after 7 o'clock. We'll take that break here, and we're back with our Crumbs question of the day.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So it's now 10 minutes after 7 o'clock. Time for you to get on your phones and to give me a call on 228-5562 or 228-5563. Those are the only numbers to call me right now because I'm giving you a question in our Crumbs question of the day. Also give you a chance to win. So those numbers to call are 228-5562 or 228-5563. Here comes today's Crumbs question of the day. Today's question is, in what year was Crumbs opened? In what year was Crumbs opened? Do you know the answer? Call me now. 228-5562 or 228-5563. In what year was Crumbs opened? So let's see if you can recall. Let's see if you even know at all. Let's see if you know your work and you've done your homework as well in your research. So in what year was Crumbs opened? Good morning to you. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. Hi, good morning. What parish are you watching me from?
St. Michael.
St. Michael. All right. What part of St. Michael?
Michael.
Yeah, right. Okay. So what's your answer?
In 2012, at First Avenue, Gilgat, Eagle Hall, St. Michael.
Put on the phone, you're wrong.
Wrong?
If you're wrong, thanks here. Thanks for trying. She wrong and questioning me on that. 228-5562 or 228-5563. In what year was Crumbs open? Let me see how well you know this answer now. You've enjoyed the bakery products, so you should know the year. Good morning to you. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi. What parish are you watching from?
Christchurch.
All right, Christchurch. What's your answer for me, Miss Christchurch?
The 28th of January, 2013.
The 28th of January, 2018?
2013, 1-3.
You sure it's not older than that?
No, it isn't.
What makes you certain, may I ask?
Pardon me?
What makes you so certain?
I have a diary of these things.
So what's my birth date?
You didn't tell me.
Aha! So if I told you, you will remember it for Thy Kingdom Come?
I will make a note of it.
Really? So what's the latest significant thing that you've made enough of your diary?
That my birthday is coming up this month.
What's the last one? That's the last thing you've noted in your diary?
Yes.
That your birthday is coming up this month?
Yes.
When in the month November?
How old you are.
Pardon me?
Sometimes you forget how old you are.
You, not me. I see it every day. So what date in November are you born?
The 18th.
Listen, you got the 18th too? My number is 18 as well. But my 18 is January.
Oh, okay.
It's a beautiful number, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
All right, I can tease it more. You're absolutely right. It was in 2013 that the Crumbs Bakery opened its doors, and now forevermore we are enjoying all of the delicious products of Crumbs Bakery. Stay on the phone, don't put down. We'll take some more information from you. So Christchurch is right. 2013 is the answer. Sorry, Gail, it wasn't 2012, it's 2013 is the year in which Crumbs was opened. Should it be God's will, tomorrow we'll have another question for you in our Crumbs question of the day. We're going to take a break here, and we're back with more on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Coming up on November the 20th, there's going to be the next level. That's right, we're moving to the next level. It's time to elevate. And certainly to talk a little bit more about that is Kimisha King, who is the author of the book Journey to 30. And with her is her guest speaker as part of that next level summit, Crystal Day. Good morning, both of you.
Morning.
Kimisha, good to see you again. This Journey to 30 has taken you now to the next level itself, girl.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Good to see you as well, Pearson.
Wow, let's remind folks of what this Journey to 30 is about.
Okay, so Journey to 30 is my first book that I wrote. It actually was published on July 12th. It's a book where I talk about the truth of my life story. I know I look so young, but hey, it's my life story until 30. And stemming from that, but now we have our wonderful upcoming summit.
Indeed, because you want to provide a practical guide for ladies, for women to be able to themselves elevate and become. So that's where you come in, Crystal. What are you going to be in this upcoming summit, hopefully telling the females who will be a part of it?
Listen, I'm so excited. Of course, I'm from Jamaica, so this is an international conference being hosted by, my dear sister Kimisha, and I will be speaking on crazy faith. And that is really me looking at, how can you use faith to elevate you in your next level? Of course, many of us have been going through, just this trying time with the COVID pandemic, and it is many persons have pushed their dreams and goals, under the rug, and just feeling very hopeless. And what I believe Kimisha wants to help persons to do is to say, hey, while I know there's challenges, while I know there are trials, you can bounce back, you can do, you can go after all that God has for you. And through my speech or through my message, I will share how you can use faith to do that.
You know how we are as people, we look at people and we say, who are you? Who are you to come talk to me about that? So when folks ask that question of you, Crystal, what would you say? Who are you?
Listen, so I tell people like in 30 seconds, I am from one of the most violent communities in Kingston, Jamaica. I grew up, was born surrounded by a lot of poverty and violence, and I've seen how faith perseverance, resilience, and diligence has helped me to elevate. Now I am an international speaker. I'm a 9 times award-winning Amazon best-selling author. I'm a podcaster. I operate my own business. I'm a publisher, so I'm in the publishing business, and I've published over 150 books in the last 3 years. I've been helping persons from all over the world, from Dubai to Canada to Nigeria, so many persons all over the world to build their brand, to write books. So if I can do it from here, what we consider the island, and based on my humble background, I know that I can help some persons to do the same.
And Kamisha, this is what it's all about, isn't it? It's showing by living example how each of us can achieve, and how each of us can achieve even more in spite of our beginning.
Yes. In spite of, yes, that's correct. Well said, that is correct. And that's exactly what we plan to do on the 20th of November. We really want to share, and we have some other phenomenal speakers too as well. We're going to have Vicky Otorina, she's from Barbados. We're going to have Natalie Murray. We're going to have Danny Hines. We're going to have Sophia Parsons. We're also going to have Khadija Collymore, and we're going to have Ali Ba all the way from the UK, our guest speaker. I'm super excited because he's been trained by the great Les Brown, and I can't wait to hear him.
This is so fantastic because each of us on our journey, and you would have listed it here, has had a challenge in discovering our purpose, but some of us have been able to do so and make great use of it. We've met with dysfunction, we've met with all sorts of things happening. Mental toughness is going to require us. We're in the midst of a pandemic that has challenged us emotionally, physically, in so many different ways. And so this is a critical moment in time where we need to really rise to the next level, to move to a stage where we now begin to see our best selves and achieve our best achievements.
Yes.
Yes.
That's it. Krista, I think we should have him speak with us.
You don't start
just
with
to
that.
pop in and give us a little encouragement, right?
I'm here as a supporter. I'll be pushing you along and saying, great work, ladies, you're doing so well. So for anyone watching this morning, how can they be a part of it?
Okay, so you can go directly to queensmindset.net. And once you go there on our website, go to events, and you will be able to see what's up next. And you can just select the link, and you can go right ahead and register for our upcoming summit.
queensmindset.net. queensmindset.net. Look for it and you'll see the next level link, and you'll just click it from there. Look at there. It's on my screen.
Yes,
or your screen too, folks. It's next up. It's time to elevate. Learn to thrive in spite of circumstances. That's what it's about. And you get a sense of who the speakers are, which includes Crystal Day out of Jamaica. And she'll be sharing her experience. So, did I sound right, Crystal?
It's fine. We'll accept it.
I love it. But I like the fact, Crystal, that you're so open about where you've come, but you're also very proud in celebrating your successes as well. And there's no harm in being able to celebrate one's success, is there, Crystal?
Yes, I agree. And this is something I want persons to get comfortable with, because the more people see successes, the more they believe they can do it too. And that's what the platform is about. It's not just to talk about us and brag, but it's to say, listen, even in a pandemic, even when you have gone through so many things, that you too can, just go through that part of success also and be a blessing to others.
You're so right. I mean, that's part of our purpose, after all, to give back, to help humanity in our doing of that particular service. And the benefit is that we feel good in doing it. There is nothing lost. We lose nothing in doing it. We actually gain, as a matter of fact. And that, I think, is one of the points I would love to have resonated in this seminar as well. That, in all that you do, you are human. And so humanity is what you're called to serve. And it's awesome. So, Kamisha, is there a cost to this, to be a part of it?
Yes, there is. It's $50 to actually be a part of this upcoming summit.
And I mean, $50 is a wonderful investment in oneself. And you will see the returns over time. And you will see that that's all I put in. And look at what I've been able to achieve out of all of this. And that's the whole point. So don't look at the figure up front, folks. Look at the figures at the end of it all. queensmindset.net. Crystal, you agree with me on every little thing, girl.
Listen, you are so smart as that I'm still lobbying for you to come on for a little 2 minutes and give us some encouragement on the summit.
Only if I could. So, but is this summit only available though to just women, or is it also that men can be a part of it?
No, men can definitely be a part. They have dreams, they have goals, they have purpose as well. So they're definitely welcome. And our guest speaker is a male, so we definitely welcome it.
Yeah, but you ladies would have invited him to talk to you, but so it's open to everyone, any gender.
Everyone.
And that's the whole thing. I really hope that most people, if not everybody, really logs in. queensmindset.net, register to be a part of it. It's November the 20th, so we have some time, folks. Today's the 12th, you have another 8th, so you have another 12 days to get yourself together. And, you know, $50 US is nothing when you look at what is going to be coming out of this seminar. There are quite a few international speakers who are going to be, and local as well, who will be sharing from their wealth of experience to make a difference as we journey this life and as we journey through this pandemic as well. We want to come out of it being better for having gone through it. And that's the whole point. I know your journey to 30 taught you that for sure, right, Kamisha?
Definitely. Definitely. Yes.
What about you, Crystal? Your journey through your stages of life. What have you learned? What have you learned from it?
I mean, my journey to 34, as you mentioned. Yeah, it's been, I've gone through many things also, just from, yeah, molestation, abortions, poverty, as I mentioned, there have been a lot of seasons in my life that it felt like, I would not come out at the end. But I guess this is why, Kimisha chose me to talk about faith, because not faith has been one of those things that have helped to propel me. I was able to graduate from my high school as a top girl in the school. I was able to complete my degree, the first person in my family. And even the things that I'm doing right now, as a speaker, as a publisher, as a coach, I've been definitely fueled by my experiences, and I've always been very passionate about helping people to do the same. And so, yeah, this is part of my purpose.
Amen. Amen indeed. Remember, folks, you are not a product of your environment. Because you've come from there does not mean that's where you will stay. You can be much more. So I want to thank you. I want to encourage everyone as well to go onto the website queensmindset.net. Look for the link and sign up to be a part of this virtual summit, uplifting oneself. It's time to elevate everybody. It's time to really go to the next level. And certainly on November the 20th, we'd like to see all of your faces in this virtual summit, because Crystal will be there, and Crystal will share her crazy faith with all of us, along with the other speakers as well. And we can learn and benefit from so much as well. So thank you so much, Kamisha, as always. And I love your smile. You know me, I've always loved your smile. Keep smiling. And Crystal Dawn, your personality is so warm and engaging and so big. You are the success that you truly are. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, ladies.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome as well. Thank you too. Isn't it fantastic? Remember, go to the website queensmindset.net and look for the link and be a part of this upcoming virtual summit. 26 minutes after the hour, we're taking a break here. We're coming back with more on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
28 minutes after 7 o'clock. If someone said to you, no spend November, can you do it? Can you really say to yourself, you know what? I'm not spending in November. Well, Marcia Armstrong says you can. She's the owner of Purpose Life. Marcia, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson.
You are so bright and breezy this big bright Monday morning. Good to have you. Girls want to have funds. Look at that on your chest. I love that. And one way to get those funds is no spend November. That's a big challenge.
Yes, it is. It's big but doable.
It's big but doable. You sure?
Yes, it is.
What makes you so certain that it is doable?
Because what we're asking persons to do is to just select one spending habit that they have, right? A spending habit that they do not have any control over. A spending habit that they want to kick to the curb for the month of November. And once you've done that, you are going to be able to save in that particular spending category. So it's just what we're asking you to do. Just one spending habit.
We're not asking folks to forego the essentials. I mean, the essentials are the essentials. You have to pay your rent, you have to pay your mortgage, you have to pay your car note, you have to buy groceries, you know that. But it's those extra things that we like to do that you're saying, you know, consider at least reducing it by taking one out for the month of November. So if it was that every day rather than go home and cook, I'd stop at a fast food restaurant, that might be one thing I might want to consider to be a part of this. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, please. So we have things like eating out, as you would have mentioned, you know, dining out. And in essence, what it's all about, Pearson, is that I want to help persons become masters of their finances, right? I want persons to take into account mindful spending. So spending is not a bad thing, but when you are spending in areas that have control over you, that's where we want to help you to kind of pull back the reins and to get more control. So we have spending on impulse. We have spending to feel better emotionally. We have situations where you spend and you don't track your money. We have situations where you spend and you don't have a plan for the spending that you're doing. You're spending to impress other people, right? All of these are reasons in which we spend money. Spending on impulse, spending on conveniences, right? So what we're doing this November is that we are identifying one area, whether it is eating out, dining, online shopping. You know, we have Black Friday coming up. We have a lot of big events coming up, holiday shopping. So what we're helping you to do is to save money in an area so that you can redirect that money, whether you're going to pay for holiday gifts, whether you're going to save towards a 2022 financial goal, whether you want to pay off debt. We're just teaching you how you can tell your money how it is supposed to be spent and to have control over your finances.
Whew. Girl, you're asking people to change their lifestyle right here, right now. And it starts in the month of November, no spend November. So how do we track it? How can we sign up to be a part of it, by the way? And how do we track it?
Okay, so there's a website, there's a link, bit.ly / no spend November NOV 2021. When persons actually click on the link, the registration link, what they will do is that they will get a free workbook. So you will enter your name and your email address. Then we will send you a free notebook, right? This free workbook has everything you need. It has the tips, it has the checklist, it has the resources you need, it has the 30-day calendar, it has everything you need to keep you motivated on this journey. And guess what? You then become a part of a community because you're not doing it on your own, right? We have people that will rally behind you, and we also have weekly prizes. So every week, for those persons who are tracking, right? Every time they save money, they're tracking it. They tag us on Instagram at A Purpose Life. They send us a message on our Facebook page. And every single week, we are giving prizes to that individual.
Boy, the incentives are there. The temptation to try it is there. You know, I really hope that we see the results as well. I would love people to really join this in full numbers so that you can see the difference to what you have in reserve. Because oftentimes you're living on the edge, paycheck to paycheck, on the edge, and then we're fretting because we did not stop to consider how we're spending our money. You're saying in this month of November, let's be a lot more conscious of how we use our money. Those things that are not critical, let's try to reduce them by one, at least one, and we build a habit as we go forward, because the next time it will be 2 and 3 and 4, and then before we know it, we're not wasting money. That's the whole purpose here, isn't
Exactly.
it?
Yes,
Because, I mean,
exactly. And so far, Pearson, the good news is, so far we have 51 persons who signed up since we would have
nice.
started on the 1st of November.
Nice. I mean, it's only the 8th and 51 people are already in. And that's a community of which you speak, where everybody supports the other person as well as we track together. I mean, actually, girls just want to have funds. So let's make sure that we get the funds for the girls who want to have funds. But this is good, because a lot of times men tend to think, for us, it's easy, man, I can handle this. And are you seeing more women signing up, or are you seeing equal balance in gender?
It's actually a balance, right? We have some men in the group. We have some men that have joined us. So it is a balance between men and women. More women than men, but we do have men in that would have signed up.
Right, so gentlemen, this thing is for us too. This is for us too, because we can be pretty reckless when we're ready. So the whole thing is to join it. So, but what we're going to do is we'll put this link, the bit.ly link, on our Facebook page, Mornin Barbados on Facebook, so that we ourselves can direct people to you. Already we have 50-something people in there, and we want to make it more than 50-something, because we have hundreds of thousands of people on this island. And certainly we want, to as many people as possible to benefit. So once we log in and we register, we get a workbook over the next 30 days, and we are tracking as we go. And in tracking, and what am I saying here? Am I saying, I would have spent $20 in fast food today? I did not. Is that what I'm doing? How I'm doing it?
That's correct. So whenever you have a temptation, right, whenever you feel tempted, so if you want to buy fast food, as Pearson would have indicated, but you did not act on the temptation, what you'll do is that you will put that into the calendar to say that you saved $20 today. So whatever that purchase amount of the item is that you would have saved, you're going to put that into your workbook.
Mm-hmm. This is so fantastic. I am tempted to try it myself. That's the truth. You know what I've been doing?
You should.
I really should. I am one, I'd say, I don't like the look of a $2 bill. So those $2 bills go somewhere else to be saved. I despise feeling coins in my pocket. So those coins go somewhere else to be saved. And in time you look back, you go like, oh my goodness, did I really put aside all of that money? And that's part of the discipline that I've used. And here it is, you're saying now for No Spend November, we can join in this community of people, and we ourselves can track the way we save. And that's what's important. So this is a great initiative. I really want to thank you, Marcia, for joining us this morning to talk a little bit more about this. This is fantastic. It's a Purpose Life. And of course, you can follow on Instagram, a.purpose.life, or on Facebook, A Purpose Life, to see more about all of this. I'm sure you have your links on those socials as well, right?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Good. So that's what we're going to do. Folks, let's take up the challenge. Let's do this. Let's make this a no-spend November, starting today, with Marcia and her team. Marcia, thank you so much for joining us as always, and I wish you all of the very best for this. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome, indeed. Morning Barbados will continue right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, 22 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock. The last time we met this lady, she was asking the question, who Gabby think he is? Because she's written a book about that. She's an author, she's a librarian, she is just a super hardworking woman. Her name is Barbara Chase. She's also just released another book in memory of her mother. And so this morning we're happy to have her again with us this morning. Barbara Chase, good morning.
Again, Pearson.
Good to see you around this time, but good. Now this time around, I mean, you're so busy. You've been writing, chronicling. This is good. But you've now released a book called This Land Is Mine, Barbadian Short Stories. And what I loved about this is these were written by your mother.
Yes. And she passed away in August, just August this year. So I didn't get to launch it with her.
So my condolences, by the way. But what led you to decide to take your mother's work and to compile them?
What led me to do that? I have always been interested in the chronicling of Barbadian stories, telling your stories, okay? Because you must have a grey out in the society. But the thing about my mother, she was a quote-unquote housewife. And a housewife didn't have much status, still doesn't have much status in the society. She was busy raising children, but she didn't want to lose part of her mind. So she wrote stories, and stories were read on the radio by Alfred Pragnell and Frank Coleman.
Really?
Page stories. In fact, there is one that is read. I need to check on it. It's still being read every Independence Day on Voice of Barbados, Radio Fusion before, and Voice of Barbados.
What story is that?
It's an independence theme. It's called This Land Is Mine. It's the title story in this book, and it's set in the Scotland district. Yeah, you should read it or listen to it.
So she's written book stories about Barbados, and are these how short, how long are these stories generally? No, you're with me still. You're still with me.
I'm here. 15 minutes?
You're still with me.
15 minutes?
Okay. That's how long or short?
Right. Between 10 and 15 minutes. A short story.
So in this book, This Land Is Mine, Barbadian Short Stories, how many short stories will we find?
You find 7 short stories.
All written by your mother.
Right.
So did you ever see her sit to write them out?
I do not remember seeing her sitting down writing this. It was such. It's only much later in my life. I'm sorry that I didn't know before, because there were others she did, 2 award-winning plays that I would have collected, but it was stupid at the time. You know what I'm saying?
So you just didn't know. Because, mothers have a very skillful way of hiding and doing things. You know this. Mothers have a way of not being seen, and they're things are produced. That's the beauty of what your mother also did. She was able to write all these wonderful short stories that you now can put together in a book in her memory. And that's the lovely thing. Here is a daughter who's seen the work of her mother and who feels compelled to put it out. I'm sure if she were around, she would be so immensely proud of you.
Yeah, she saw the book before she died, in fact. And she remembered, she had Alzheimer's, for a good few years. But yet, still she remembered writing these stories.
That's beautiful.
And she would correct me if I had something wrong. But the thing about it I want to say, if I may interject, these stories are chronicle the lives of the Black proletariat, the history and culture, which is something that is not written in the formal literature.
So give me a sense of who we would find in these stories, some names and people and places that we'd find in these stories.
Of course, it is fiction, but it's very much real. Okay, so you're gonna find people at a wedding, for instance. You're gonna find people at the beach, for instance. You're going to find people who live together and are not married.
Yes. Yes, yes. We know those common law situations. For anyone watching today who are wondering, who is this woman's mother? Her name was Dorothy Level. Dorothy Level is your mother's name. And would people immediately recognize the name Dorothy Level?
No. But the thing is, she did so much in her own community at her Methodist church. She helped so many young people, etc. You see, it was my father who was the famous person. My father was a guy called John Lovell, who was a founding member of the Teachers Credit Union.
Mm-hmm.
But according to somebody that said, behind every good man, there has to be a woman. And that woman was
That woman was Dorothy.
Right. Yes, yes.
What Methodist church was she with?
That's the Belmont Methodist Church.
I thought so. I
in
thought
the Bethel
so.
Circuit.
Yes, yes, yes. Listen, I'm a Methodist too. So yes, I know which one you're talking about. Over the hill right there, near to the Israel Level Foundation's headquarters. I know.
Yeah, you went to Sunday school there?
Pardon me?
No, you're younger than me.
You have good eyes. Thank you so much. You know, but here it is. Now the book is available. Where can people get a copy of the book?
The book is at the Days Books, Museum Bookshop, Pages, and the UWI Bookshop. But it is also on Amazon for those overseas people who want to access it, and it is Kindle as well as print.
Wow! So you can have it in hard copy. You can have it soft copy online as well. So it's available. It's This Land Is Mine, Barbadian short stories. Great thing to have now and
right.
forevermore. And it's so significant. This is coming out now. Sure you may.
Yeah. I am putting forward these books now, this one and the Gabby book, to mark Independence and Republic Day. Okay? It is significant because they are set in the colonial days, and I want to show the path.
You see, you read my mind. That's exactly where I was going before you asked me if you could say one more thing. And it's all significant simply because we're celebrating the best of who we are as every day we do. But now that we are asserting ourselves to become fully independent, now cutting those, really literally breaking that trident, we are now going to become a republic. It is significant that we do have copies of stories that tell our time. And this is where this book, This Land Is Mine, Barbadian Short Stories, is so vital to have in every single household. And so we want to encourage everyone, wherever you can, to go get a copy. There it is, Who Gabby Think He Is. So all of those books by Barbara Chase are available. You can get it from the Museum's Bookshop, from Dave's Bookshop. You can also get it from you, I'm sure, as well, right, Barbara?
Right. You can get it from me by emailing me. The last time I gave you the wrong email address. One character was missing.
Okay. So tell me, what is the right email address? Barbara Chase.
1439.
Okay.
At gmail.com.
Right. Barbara Chase, 1439, 1439. Barbara Chase, 1439 at gmail.com. It's right there on your screens. Take a look, everybody. She's available at Barbara Chase, 1439 at gmail.com. On Facebook, you can find her as Barbara Ann Chase. She's the author. She's compiled a whole series of stories written by her mother, Dorothy Level. This book is called This Land Is Mine, Barbadian Short Stories. The other book is called Who Gabby Think He Is, all compiled by Barbara Chase. Thank you so much, Barbara, as always, for joining us. I hope people really get out there and buy these books. Buy them. They make great reads, and they make some wonderful gifts as well. Thank you, and much success with this.
Thank you so much for having me, Pearson.
You are very welcome, Barbara. All right, we have 13 minutes now to go to the hour of 8 o'clock. We're going to take a break here, and we're coming back with more on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a red book. You better believe it. There is a red book, which is the Guide to Employment Relations in Barbados. It's been produced by the Barbados Employers Confederation. Joining us to talk a little bit more about that is Sheena Bradshaw, who is a labor management advisor with the Barbados Employers Confederation. Sheena, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning, Pearson, and good morning to Barbados.
Now, when we hear there's a red book, there's a so tell me a little bit more about the red book.
Well, that is a very good thing. Basically, our red book, it stops you from getting into trouble. So there's no this edition of the red book, though, is actually the third edition. The second edition was published in 2013. So we thought it was high time that we relooked the information in the 2013 edition, and yes, so that is it there.
It is obviously very important to have this red book. Why?
Basically, what we have always looked to do in the red book is we have taken the mostly used legislation and we have broken it down into understandable language. So it is a book not only for HR professionals such as myself, but the manager or the supervisor or the entrepreneur who is not familiar with human resources or industrial relations. They can pick up this book and look for any topic that they may be having issues with, and they are sure to find some practical advice written in the book.
Yeah, I'm so glad, because oftentimes we get caught up in contracts and contract terms, contract for services, contract for this, contract for that, and we can get it wrong. We can then find ourselves on the opposite end of the law, and so we appear before the Employment Rights Tribunal and we're out to sea. And this red book gives us guides as to how we can properly execute those kinds of agreements and arrangements.
Yes, it does. There is a chapter in there that deals with employment contracts. So it really deals with the employee life cycle from the time the employee gets to your organization to the point where the employee may be exiting. So you have chapters in there that deal with employee leave, recognition of trade unions, discipline, total remuneration and compensation. So there's a wide gamut, the usual common occurrences that will happen in the employment life cycle.
It's very timely because businesses are transforming. The pandemic has caused us all to relook the way we do what we do, and so as this transformation unfolds, a lot of people are uncomfortable. But this red book guides us through that change, isn't it?
There is a chapter in there that deals with remote work or different forms of work. While I was editing the 2013 edition, it did come about in these COVID times. So we were seeing the transition from working in the office to working from home more readily. So I did go in and I did edit a chapter in there that deals specifically with other forms of work. So there is the full remote working from home, and there is also the hybrid model that is dealt with in there, and it does give some guidelines as to the procedures that you would go through if you want to change your organization to that type of model.
Okay, so give me a sense of the chapters that we can browse through in this book.
Okay, so it's about 60 pages in all.
Oops, that happens to most of us. Trust me, it does. When the whole screen flops, that can happen. So let's see if we get Sheena back in just a moment. Sheena is the Labour Management Advisor with the Barbados Employers Confederation. They've just updated the Red Book, which looks at and gives a guide to employment relations in Barbados. So the whole host of things have changed. And certainly as times have changed, we want to be sure that we are on the right side of the law as it relates to employment and labour relations. And certainly this book is one of those that will help us stay on track. You let me know when she's back and I'll be happy to connect with her. It's one that's available and also important for HR professionals to have, employers, of course, to have, small business owners in particular. You need to have, because oftentimes as you open your own place, you tend to think that you know that you don't have to have these things in place, but you actually do. You can run afoul of the law as well. Young students, HR human resources practitioners, it's a whole gamut of people. And I think supervisors down to even that level needs to have themselves a book, the copy of the red book, that guide to employment relations in Barbados. It talks a little bit, as you said, about how you approach vacation leave, how you approach any form of leave, not just vacation, whether it's sick leave or some kind of no pay leave. It talks about how you deal with the life cycle of an employee from the time they come in to the time they leave, and how you transition in and out throughout that life cycle as well. I'm sure there are many other chapters which the book covers, but the book is available to everyone. Remember, it's with the Barbados Employers Confederation. You can go to their website, barbadosemployers.com, and get to know more. So let's see if we have Sheena back now. Sheena, are you here? Are you hearing me now? All right, we're still trying to solve that problem with Sheena there. It's a guide to employment relations in Barbados. Sheena Bradshaw is her name. Sheena, once again, welcome back. Sheena?
My
you good
apologies.
now? You safe?
Yes, I'm good.
You didn't hurt yourself?
I didn't.
That's good to hear.
You know, I was apparently tired of seeing me.
I know that feeling. Oh, too well. Whoops, daisy. Good. So, tell me now about the chapters in the book and the areas covered. Sheena's going to talk to us about those areas covered in this guide to employment relations. So, Sheena, yes, tell me.
Okay, so looking at the chapters, as I said, it begins at the beginning of the employee life cycle. So contracts of employment, total rewards, employee leave. It also has a chapter on collective bargaining and industrial relations, discipline, termination, safety and health management, sexual harassment, flexible work arrangements, and emerging workplace issues, where we dealt with drug and alcohol policies, social media policies, and business continuity and disaster management.
So quite comprehensive it is, the Red Book. And you said it's about 60 pages, so it's pretty thin, and we can easily browse chapter to chapter to chapter depending on what we're looking for. Now, because of where you sit in the Barbados Employers Confederation, which chapter do you think that we should zero in on more because of the matters that are raised at your level?
At my level, the chapters that we would normally work with are employee leave, discipline, and termination. But the entire book, there's a wealth of information in this book.
Yes.
The Discrimination at Work Act, that was not proclaimed at the time that we were publishing this edition of the Red Book. There is a bit in there about that. That is one of the pieces of legislation that is being dealt with heavily in these times. But unfortunately, we were not able to include too much information on that, as it was still in the form of a bill while we were publishing this edition of the Red Book.
So, for anyone watching then, whether you be employer, employee, HR practitioner, where can we get a copy of the Red Book?
We only have it in hard copy, and it is available at our offices in Britons Hill, St. Michael. If you're interested in having a copy, you can send us an email at helpdesk@barbadosemployers.com, or you can call us via 435-4753.
Okay, 435.
We do have a small office.
Go ahead. 435-4753, the number to call, or helpdesk@barbadosemployers.com, the email address. You were saying you have a small office?
We have a small office, so we would prefer that persons contact us before they come to the office, so that we can just make sure that we follow the correct protocols.
Indeed. So, Sheena Bradshaw, Labor Management Advisor with the Barbados Employers Confederation, thank you for joining us this morning. I hope that real people come and get this Red Book. I think it's so vital at this time to have it in our hands, that guide to employment relations. Indeed.
And we really want to encourage, especially the entrepreneurs and small business persons, to get a copy of this book.
vital.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good morning.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
Bye-bye.
Well, that does it for us today, everybody. Thank you so much. Thanks to our producer, Nadia Foster, my technical director, Anderson Nurse, sound engineer, Christopher Blemon, at Master Control is Tamisha Green. I'm Pearson Boyne, hoping to see you again tomorrow. Good morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.